Over recent years, we have been witness to the push and pull of the Republican and Democratic parties. The Republicans have waged wars and the Democrats have been a financial asset. In this documentary film, we will span back from the current president, Barack Obama, to President George Herbert Bush back in 1989. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor in December of 1941, Bush decided to join the U.S. Navy, so after graduating from Phillips Academy earlier in 1942, he became a naval aviator at the age of 18. After completing the 10-month course, he was commissioned as an ensign in the U.S. Naval Reserve. Bush had been accepted to Yale University prior to his enlistment in the military, and took up on the offer after his discharge and marriage. While at Yale, he was enrolled in an accelerated program that allowed him to graduate in 2.5 years rather than 4. In 1988, George H. W. Bush started his life in politics. He had succeeded President Reagan as the new president for the U.S. During that time. The world changed a lot. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989 and the Soviet Union dissolved 2 years later. The United States became the biggest part of the world. We cannot say that's all he did, but in fact George H. W. Bush made his dedication at that time. William Clinton was the 42nd President of the United States and was in office from 1993 till 1999. Clinton appointed more women and minorities to the cabinet and as heads of major governmental departments than had any other previous president. Clinton's first major piece of legislation, a family leave bill that forced companies with more than 50 workers to allow 12 weeks of unpaid leave a year to cope with family issues such as childbirth and illness, scored a big hit with the public. During his campaign, Clinton had spoken of promoting equal rights for homosexuals. When the issue of gays in the military arose, Clinton was seen to waffle on his promise, compromising on a position that became known as the "don't ask, don't tell" policy. He helped negotiate a peace plan between the Palestine Liberation Organization and Israel to allow Palestinian free government in the Gaza Strip. He was instrumental in returning a democratic government to Haiti, and he was also instrumental in peace talks between Israel and Palestine Liberation Front. On December 19, 1998, after nearly 14 hours of debate, the House of Representatives approved 2 articles of impeachment against President Bill Clinton, charging him with lying under oath to a federal grand jury and obstructing justice. Clinton claimed he did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, an unpaid White House intern. However, the affair lasted for about 18 months, with tons of evidence of the affair occurring. On February 12th, the Senate voted on whether to remove Clinton from office. After the trial concluded, President Clinton said he was profoundly sorry for the burden his behavior imposed on Congress and the American people. George Walker Bush is the son of 41st President George Herbert Walker Bush. George W. Bush is the 43rd President of the United States. He served as president from 2001 until 2009. Before being known as the president, George W. Bush was known as a businessman. After graduating from Yale in 1965 and Harvard Business School in 1975, George W. Bush invested his money into the oil business. 2 years after graduating from Harvard, George W. Bush married Laura Welch. In 1994, he defeated Ann Richards in the gubernatorial election. He was elected president in 2000, after a close and controversial election. On September 11, 2001, 8 months after Bush's election, there was a devastating terrorist attack. 2 planes hit the Twin Towers, 1 hit the Pentagon, and 1 fell into a field in Pennsylvania. September 11th led Bush to announce the War on Terror, which included both the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Also during his term, Bush signed laws permitting broad tax cuts, passed the Patriot Act, the No Child Left Behind Act, and Medicare benefits for the elderly. He was also involved in national debates on immigration, Social Security, electronic surveillance, and enhanced interrogation techniques. Bush was re-elected again in 2004, defeating Senator John Kerry. After the election, Bush began to receive a lot of heat for how the Iraq War and Hurricane Katrina were handled. The Democratic Party then won over Congress in 2006. December 2007 was the biggest of the longest recessions since World War II. Bush was succeeded by Barack Obama, who ran a platform of change from Bush's policies. Barack Obama is the 44th and current president, and he is also the first African American to hold office. Obama was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and graduated Columbia University and Harvard Law School. Obama was president of the Harvard Review. He was also a community organizer in Chicago before earning his law degree. He worked as a civil rights attorney in Chicago and taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School from 1992 until 2004. He served 3 terms representing the 13th District in the Illinois Senate from 1997 until 2004, running unsuccessfully for the United States House of Representatives in 2000. Obama ran against Republican John McCain in September of 2008. On November 4, 2008, Obama won the presidency with 365 electoral votes and became the first African American president.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The general election. Their main opponents were Republicans Mitt Romney, the former governor of Massachusetts, and Representative Paul Ryan. On November 6, 2012, Obama won 332 electoral votes, exceeding the 270 required for him to be re-elected as president. Obama became the first Democratic president since Franklin D. Roosevelt to twice win the majority of the popular vote and was re-elected president again. Obama called for Congress to pass legislation reforming health care in the United States, a key campaign promise and the top legislative goal. In June 1989, Obama met Michelle Robinson when he was employed as a summer associate at the Chicago law firm of Sidley Austin, and got married on October 3, 1992. Barack and Michelle have 2 daughters, Malia and Sasha. America has had its benefits and detriments over the years, yet we continue to maintain our economic dominance over the world from these past presidencies. As a country, we will continue this democratic push and pull lifestyle, and yet as a country we will only elect the president that will allow our supremacy to strive.